Welcome, welcome, welcome to Men, Relationships, and Other Fables, where you find thought-provoking conversations and insights that transform. Please welcome our host, Nicole Douglas.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. We learn and grow from those who have done the work and manifested phenomenal success in business and in life. Today, I have Larry Miller, real estate entrepreneur and founder of Gunga 7 LLC and Choice Property Solutions in Clearwater, Florida. Choice Property Solutions stands out because of their commitment to proudly being there for people during challenging times with support and care. Thank you for being on the show, Larry.
Yep, thanks for having me here.
So, Larry, please share a little bit about your career, how you got started, and a moment of truth that was a breakthrough for you professionally.
Well, it's a long, involved tale. I'll keep it as short as I can. I got started with real estate. We think we bought our first rental back in somewhere in the 70s. This was in Pennsylvania, and at the time I was working at a family-owned clothing business factory, and things seemed to be pretty well charted. My life was had a nice plan. We were just moving along, and then through a union dispute, the plant got burned to the ground. So that's a sudden stop on a dime, and you make some U-turns, and you head off in another direction. And so what that showed me, though, is no matter how you plan, no matter what you do, there are some things that you just can't control. And
you're right about that.
Ready to bounce off in another direction if necessary.
Got it. So your start was like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like literally. Yeah.
With no choice, I went back to college and got a degree and ended up in New Jersey and various other things. But the thing is, you never stop learning. No experience is wasted if you can learn something from it.
Yeah, got it. So let's talk a little bit about your real estate career. So you said you bought your first property like in the late 70s, and so was that like shortly after you went back to school and got your real estate license? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I did have a license for a while, but I found I was not suited for taking people around showing them all the 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses in the neighborhood. So I'm primarily investing now. I had gotten out of it for a while, but what I would say about about getting involved in real estate is you can't go at it alone. You always need somebody, some help somewhere. Like when I first started out, I got this townhouse that we had converted to 2 apartments, and I needed certain things like, well, who do I call for a plumber, or who's an electrician I need for some of these things. Fortunately, my dad had done some of this, so he pointed me in the right direction. Because sometimes when you start out, you don't know what you don't know. And until you run into an obstacle and say, what do I do about this now? And it's always good to have somebody who's been down the road first to go to. You can figure it out for yourself, but it just takes a lot longer and costs a lot more money.
Yeah, you're right about that. So just want to ask you, what was a moment of truth that was a breakthrough for you professionally?
Well, what really changed my direction was the fire, and was getting involved with some other real estate investors that just being around people that do the same things. Because like John Maxwell says, all of us are better than one of us. Mm-hmm. That when we because there are times we used to get together before this flu thing came along every Thursday morning, a whole bunch of us, and sometimes without even thinking, I'd ask a question, somebody else would ask a question, and we had all this knowledge available to us. So my moment of truth is I've taken some of the courses, I spent some of the money, and I not down on it, but you eventually have to start doing what you learn about, whether it's real estate or whatever your field is. You can't just keep learning without doing something. And that's where just being around a group of peers that oh, you see, Joe did that over there. That's a good idea, and you learn from him. And or Henry did that. You know, it's a thing that people bounce off each other, and you learn so much more by being part of a group. We're semi-competitors, but not really. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed. And
Yeah.
that's where you get with the right group, and it just makes your business take off. Now, on the other side, you have to be careful who you get involved with, because shortly after the fire, I had a business partner. I thought he was going to help me, and he thought I was going to help him, and neither one of us did anything, because we all depend on somebody else to do the job. You can't expect somebody else to do your part of the job. I mean, this guy eventually, he would tell you the sky was green if he thought you'd believe it, and he could get some money out of you. That was another moment of truth. Be careful who you get involved with. But once you find the good people, stick with them.
Wow. That's powerful. So thanks, Larry. We have a few questions for you about the real world of business and relationships. So we did a survey and we posed this question. What would you ask someone who is successful in their career about relationships? So Larry, here's the first question. When it comes to knowing, and this is really interesting, you kind of pointed to it earlier, but we could kind of do a deep dive here. When it comes to knowing who to trust and who you can work with, what has been your biggest lesson?
Well, sometimes you just have to spend a little bit of time with people and see what their values are. I forget who it was said, you can tell a lot about a person how they treat somebody that can do them no good at all.
Yeah.
How do people deal with waiters? How do, if you're in New Jersey, how do people deal with people who pump gas in your car? Yeah, if you're with somebody that treats them well, that's a pretty good sign. But if they just snap their fingers and expect people to hop to their requests, I'm not quite so sure I want to get involved with them. So that's one of the things that I've learned over the time, that if people treat everyone well, even though they're of no financial benefit to me, that's a good start.
Yeah, just the act of just being humble, and that everybody makes a contribution, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't owe me anything, and I don't owe them anything except general respect. That hey, somebody shows me the table, I say thank you, sir. It's not demeaning to me, and it makes them feel better too. I mean, you just treat people like you'd like to be treated.
Yeah. So on your path as a business owner and partner, have you encountered any naysayers or saboteurs? And if so, were you surprised by who they were?
Sometimes, when an illustration of something that happened most recently, you can't always predict what's going to happen. My grandson's going to a private school here in Florida. The voucher program is great, but just a few days ago, and they start next week, the school that he was going to announced that they had some issues and they were going to be closing for the year, that they were not going to be able to accommodate any of the kids. My daughter asked for several recommendations from different people in different areas, and they all recommended this one school. My wife got on the phone and talked to my daughter, who teaches in a private school up in New Jersey, and she looked things up and she recommended this school. And we called, got in there, and my daughter's not overly wealthy, and she gets the vouchers from the state. But the school said, "Oh, that'll make up the difference for her. The church people would pay for it." So when God puts something together, it happens, even if you're not planning on it.
Amen. Wow, that's a powerful story.
In just a couple of days, everything was taken care of. It was just amazing.
It's a powerful story of faith too. So, Larry, I'd like to thank you for, playing with me and, exploring these questions. We have another question for you coming right up. So our next question on the survey is, from your experience, what mindset is needed to balance romantic and business relationships where you and the other person are empowered?
Well, this is a learned response. When I was younger, I thought I had all things figured out. That's why I sort of laugh at some of these millennials come along saying they've got it all figured out. I was there.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's weren't we all?
I thought anything I had to do to make money for the family, that was what I should be doing. And I missed so much of my kids' experiences when they were little. So I know this financial planner, and one of his favorite comments is, if it takes more than 40 hours a week, you're doing it wrong. You have to spend time with the family, because otherwise, I know people that didn't, and they have money, but they're all alone. You can't abuse the people that you love and want to have them around you.
Yeah, and another thing, now that you mentioned it, it's really about, it's your romantic partner, is really there to enable and empower you to be successful in business. So it's kind of like, they would be the golden goose. They're that's part of, sounds to me, what you're saying is they're the key to your success in business. So it's take care of what gives you, take care of those who empower you to be your best.
Oh yeah, that's my wife is the other member of our LLC. We discussed some of the various things we're going to do. She comes to some meetings, and it's not that I have two completely separate areas of life. Men tend to compartmentalize things. This is work, this is home. I don't want to be bothered with one when I'm at the other.
Yeah, I hear you.
But it doesn't always. That's not always the best way to do it, because there's this. Even though she may not know all the mechanics of. She watches these shows on HDTV and that. She won't crawl up on the roof with me and do that kind of stuff. but she has an idea of what we're doing, what we're talking about, and there's some wisdom there, and you need, like I said before, you can't do it alone. You need somebody to bounce ideas off of, because sometimes I thought this was a great idea, and it turns out after talking to her, it was a stupid idea. There again, you need a little humility to recognize that.
Yeah, and the cool part is that she takes interest in what you're doing, so she wants to understand what you're doing, so she can further empower you.
Oh,
and
yeah. She will help in some ways. When I need to do something, she will stay out of the way in those times. It works out fairly well. None of us are perfect, but it worked out pretty well.
It's something else you really allude to, Larry, and it was about, compartmentalizing, that you say men tend to compartmentalize. There's home, then there's work. And what I got out of what you shared is that, there's an opportunity for you to bring your whole self to both your romantic relationship and your business relationships, like there's not like a line of demarcation that you can include it all because it's part of all of who you are. So there's really no need to like segment business versus home. It's like, as an entrepreneur, you see the opportunity to bring it all.
Yeah.
So say a bit more about that.
It helps when the two people are pulling together in the same direction. If you're not, there's always this distraction that you can't be good at your work and you're not good at home.
Mm.
There were times, and I say this is a learned thing. It's not that I knew it right from the beginning, because I was off. I was actually, this was for work, but I was over in Holland when my oldest son graduated from high school. But you have to include the family in it, otherwise your victories aren't even as much fun.
Yeah, because now they're shared.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the first Rocky movie where he lost, but he went the distance, and he had somebody to share it with. Yeah,
that makes a huge difference. So, Larry, we're going to take a moment and listen to a track.
Okay.
From Lauria out of Montreal, in a segment of the show we call Groove Moves. Mm-hmm. And you get to vote whether the track gets a smooch and a rose or if it needs a little fertilizer. DJ, let's hear I Got Me.
Me a note on my bed telling me it's over like this. Never knew how little he cared. Guess it was never really fair. And now I'm left alone. All the things around me on my own. And I just realized got everything I need. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. I'll survive the biggest lie. He should see me. Mine, but boo to you. I mean, if you only knew. Now I'm in peace with myself. Got my fingers up, sending you the deuces. Cause I just realized got everything I need. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. I'll survive the biggest lie. He should see me getting by. What you're looking for. You know I'm fine, you know I'm cool. You know I live and by the rules. And I know I'll be fine with me alone. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. He just found survive the biggest lie. He should see me getting by. I got me, I got
So, Larry, Are you giving the track a smooch and a rose?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm giving the track a smooch and a rose as well. So, are you ready for another survey question?
I think I am, yes.
Oh, great. So the next question from our survey is, what are 3 pitfalls you've seen people fall into when it comes to balancing their romantic, family, or community relationships while working to have a successful career or business?
Well, it kind of revolves around scheduling. You have to schedule things that are important to you. Like, for instance, my wife and I usually go out to eat on Wednesday nights. That's just the schedule. If you're a workaholic, if you just get involved in your work, it's very easy to forget everything else. But you manage your calendar by scheduling things. I used to be involved in politics. I scheduled that time. That time was blocked out for that. And then I scheduled time for work. I scheduled time for family things. Like, my grandson had played soccer for a while. Saturday mornings, that's what we did. It's sometimes you have to be almost ruthless with your scheduling. That the important things get on the schedule, and if they're on there, they get done. But if you just say, "Well, I'll be there if I can make it," it probably is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing is not scheduling the important things. There's a preacher I know who says you have to keep the main thing the main thing. You can't let things get in the way. But that's where you have your scheduling. You have whatever your priorities are. You make a time for it, and that you also have to make time for relaxation and recreation. You can't just work all the way through. So it comes down to prioritizing and actually, for some people, it may sound awful, but make a calendar and keep it.
I got it. So the first pitfall is really about, not scheduling and keeping your word on those things, or doing those things that are of interest and importance to you. So what other 2 pitfalls have you seen people fall into?
Well, one of them is expecting somebody else to do what I'm responsible for. That, like I said, with this partner I had, I thought he was going to make the business work. No, it's still up to me. There's something you have to learn to. You have to develop a line. You have to decide properly what can be assigned to someone else and what you have to handle yourself. And you can't just push everything off on other people. But then, on the other hand, you can't do everything yourself either. So there has to be some sort of understanding what you can do best, and you let other people do what they can do best, even if you think it's only 90% of what I could do if I were doing it, but I can't do everything. So that is one of the pitfalls, thinking you have to do everything.
You're so right about that.
Sometimes, so what if this guy can only do 90% as good as me? That's okay. It gets done, and I'm not stressed because I'm doing too many things.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really saying progress, not perfection.
Yeah, it's something you have to constantly evaluate what's going on, because sometimes one of the things that we have as humans is think, well, I'm the only one that can do this right. Well, no, it's not. I'm not. That if I can delegate some things to others, and I stay with what's important for me to do, and that allows me to put the time into the other things that are important as well.
Yeah, and that also provides a lot of balance.
Yeah, I don't want to be one of these one-armed paper hangers trying to get up.
Oh,
It gets done right that way.
yeah. So what's the third pitfall you see that people fall into when they're, working to balance their relationships?
It's something that even, and this is more on a personal side, I have been going to the gym regularly before we got this flu thing. And while it was going on, I actually caught it. I was sick in bed for about a week and got over it. And but it sapped my strength some. I have to make myself get up and do exercises every day. Exercises, stretching, and any exercise program requires discipline. Anything that keeps you healthy requires a certain amount of discipline, self-discipline. That you don't have to do this, but there's a price if you don't do it, and that's where it's been said that if you don't discipline yourself, it will be applied to you from outside somewhere.
Yeah,
whether it's a doctor or whatever, that you have to sometimes make yourself do things you don't feel like doing, and that's where the head has to take over from feelings. You can't run on feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also that opportunity, the opportunities that get created by just, doing what you say you're going to do and taking care of yourself. And then there's that opportunity cost when when your health suffers, that all the things that you could have been doing or, the business you could have been generating and things like that. There's an opportunity cost there. If you're not well,
oh, definitely,
you can't pursue that. You can't make that happen. So
you're absolutely right there. And I would also say that probably the fact that I was taking care of myself before I got this flu may be able to fight it off a lot more easily. Taking care of yourself. If you do get it, you're not going to be as bad a shape as if somebody who's a couch potato.
Yeah, and it kind of comes back to your first pitfall about, not planning your work and working your plan.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that on your schedule. Like, for me, that's top of mind. I mean, I work to get in 4 to 5 hours a week of exercise. Like, it's like, it is my, like you do it like I'm running there like a business that I'm going to get some, but the payoff for it is like, you can't put a price on it. And so it just impacts every area of your life when you just take really great care of yourself. So
you feel better. You're able to get other tasks done more easily and just stay healthier.
Yeah. So, Larry, we have another track from Lauria.
Okay.
That we're going to listen to. So, DJ, let's hear Losing Me.
I don't wanna live fly away. You can go away, I won't lose anyway. I don't give a damn what people think about me. I don't wanna live the life they want me to live. I don't want this kind of life. I don't need what you want. I don't need to hurt your laugh on me. Yes, all over me. I don't need those fires. I don't need those bleedings. I don't need what you want. It's scaring me. It's crazy, crazy. The end of the day, I don't want losing me.
So, Larry, are you giving Losing Me a Smooch and a Rose?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yes,
Yeah, I'm giving the track a Smooch and a Rose too.
you did good.
Yeah. So if you like what you heard from Lauria, visit her at Lauria-music. That's LAURIA-music.com and Old Grumpy Radio. So, Larry, when you were sharing about, one of the pitfalls you see people fall into, and it's really around knowing what, like being able to delegate, and knowing what you're responsible for and what somebody else is responsible for, especially like if you're partnering with someone in business. And, I owned a consulting practice for 16 years. And what I noticed, like the pitfall you shared, is like it was a major pitfall for me because I thought I had to do everything by myself. And in order to grow your business, you really need to be able to work on your business versus in your business. Like there was a big distinction I got, toward the very end before, it was time to complete on the company because the market conditions had me shut it down. But that was the one thing that, kind of like a lesson learned, what you shared about is just being able to distinguish what I need to be doing and what I could delegate to others that would really make the difference in really growing and sustaining my business. And I think a lot of people who start businesses, it's a big pitfall because you have to be able to trust people. You really have to be able to trust people, and the business is not really about you. It's really about enabling and empowering them to be successful. And as they're successful, you're successful.
Yes, I think of some people. Let's say a fellow is a wonderful chef. That doesn't mean he can run a restaurant.
Yes,
He needs to have people that know the whole package of the restaurant business, and different various other businesses that you have a particular skill. Let's say I'm a good electrician, but I don't know marketing, how to promote myself to others, and that type of thing. There's always a skill that beyond, unless you're a Superman, there's always a skill that's missing somewhere. And getting back to, you can't do it alone. That if it's just you, it's a pretty small package, and that we have to sometimes have the willingness to say, I need help. How do I do this? And recognize we don't know everything about everything. I learned that the hard way sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what John Maxwell says. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that. Because a lot of times we think we lose, but really you learn. If things didn't work out, there's a lesson. Let's just say there's a blessing and a lesson in everything.
Sometimes you learn more from your failures than you do successes.
Certainly. So So
The whole
we
thing is
had,
don't
I'm
quit.
sorry, go ahead.
The whole thing is don't quit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's like the longer you can stay in the game, something else might emerge, like a new opportunity.
You never know when they
So,
come knocking on the door.
yes,
Knock them down.
yes. So we have one final question. There's a lot going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you had, I mean, it's as evident over the past couple of years, there's a lot going on. So if you had a magic wand and could change one thing, what would it be?
Oh, well, there's a number of things, but I would think that we get back to the values we had. Now, I'm an old guy. I grew up in the 50s, and we didn't have people fighting with each other. We didn't have all the idea that somebody owes me something. That we pretty much just worked for what we had and didn't expect somebody else to fix things for us. If it was our problem, we fixed it. But beyond that, getting back to the values of respecting each other, of accepting that not everybody thinks like me, but I'm not trying to make everybody think like me either. That kind of thing, that we just get to mutual respect and the idea that every person has value. And I really like one of the things that has been forgotten these days, when Martin Luther King wanted people to be looked at for the content of their character. And I just see everybody's after everybody these days, and it just makes me sad.
Yeah, we're all God's children.
Exactly. And that we should just try and encourage people rather than tear them down. I'm guilty of this too sometimes myself. I don't like something, and I may make some comments at times too, but we should be encouragers. And that way we all feel invested in somebody else's success.
I love it. Be invested in someone else's success. And really, and on the other side of that, you really talked about like really ownership of your own life and what you're creating, and not looking to others to provide that for you. Like you really take on your life like that. To me, it sounds like you're saying solid American values of individualism, rugged individualism, and, respect and honor. And,
when we get to the end, it doesn't depend on what group we're part of. It's what did we do individually with our lives when it comes to the end.
You're absolutely right. So, Larry, this has been a really great conversation.
I appreciate the time.
Yeah, I really appreciate your sharing your wisdom. So it's just been amazing, amazing conversation. So, Larry, how can our listeners learn more about you and Choice Property Solutions?
Well, I'm at choicepropertysolutions.com. That's the business. I also have lmiller.info, which is my personal site. That's lmiller.info. And that has some of the other activities we're involved in. We're going to be beginning a couple of new things that are not on the books yet, but we're doing the preliminary work on it. And I would say to the older people, keep on going. Don't retire when you get to or at least you can quit your job, but don't stop working on stuff when you get to the time we can apply for Social Security. But you can check out lmiller.info. or choicepropertysolutions.com. There's also choicepropertysolutions.blogspot. There's links to all this stuff from any one of those websites.
And one last thing, Larry, thank you for reminding everyone that the second act in life can be your best act.
Yeah, it's something you can't give up. You can't have to keep on going, because many people that I went to school with, they retired and they just retired, and they didn't last more than a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I have other friends that say they didn't know when they would have time to work with all the stuff they were doing now that they were semi-retired. It's not a point on the calendar that says you have to stop. As long as you keep enjoying it, keep doing it.
That's really great advice. So thank you again for the wonderful sharing of, really what it's like in the real world of business relationships. So thank you for being our guest. It was really great. And I'd like to thank our listeners. I am Nicole W., and you have been listening to Men, Relationships, and Other Fables. Until next time.